this cozy game is a fraud.
I think I might have just found the cutest and coziest game of 2026 so far.
Oh my. I have found the most beautiful, stunning, cozy game.
Oh my god. Look at how many we are you kidding me?
No way. Look at how tiny we are.
Oh, the colors.
Yeah, I never heard of this game. I thought it was gonna be the other game that we watched. The one with like mad micro transactions or whatever.
So, Animula Nook burst onto the scene last year with the flashy trailer and a bunch of oohs and ahs from the cozy community. It's an upcoming life.
Dude, that fries me. I know there's like every kind of niche community out there. It's the internet, but like the cozy community just fries me. Just the wording of it just kills me, and I don't know why. It's so dumb.
Simulation game with cute visuals and the absolute coziest of cozy vibes.
The art style is just adorable. I'm feeling so like warm and cozy just looking at it.
It's made by a studio called Lilylandia, and it promises to give players the ability to explore, build, craft, design, plant, and cook, and you even get your own little cat thing.
Spectacular, give me 14 of them right now.
I don't know what this is. Animula Nook isn't out yet, but apparently people are so hyped for it that nearly 8 million people have wishlisted it. 8 million! And the game is getting a lot of exposure on social media. There's a very active...
I mean, I'd probably play this. It looks very high quality. Like, I mean, we'll see.
Discord group, subreddits, they even...
Okay, even if it does come out, like, I'll probably play it. I mean, we'll see.
Made a creator program for all the cozy influencers to join so they can shill this game relentlessly. We all know how they love to do that.
The cozy community is definitely one of the signs of apocalypse. You know it.
But all of this indicates that people are genuinely excited for Animula Nook. I mean, the visual style does look weird as fuck to me. It looks like it's made for toddlers, and I just know there's an iPad baby somewhere playing a game that looks just like this.
I'm a little baby.
No, you're a full-grown man.
But besides the CoComelon visuals, it does appear to be a polished, high-budget, fleshed-out life simulation game. So why not bring in Animula Nook? The more the merrier, right? Actually, wrong. Because not everything about Animula Nook is as cute and cozy as it seems. Animula Nook seemed like a great addition to the life sim genre, and what was even more impressive is that this game was coming from a brand new indie studio, at least that was their words. They posted a few updates on Steam and Discord where they shared that this is their first ever game and that they're still learning the ropes as a fledgling developer. Now, I couldn't find exact information about when development began on this game, but it appears that the studio itself was just established last year in 2025. I found trademark applications for Lilylandia, the development studio, that were filed in September 2025 to be exact. At first glance, all this doesn't really seem like something we would need to question. Usually when we hear that a game is indie, we trust and believe that it is in fact indie. However, there were a few things about this game that didn't really appear to add up. A few things that looked a bit suspicious for an indie studio. For instance, you may have noticed that the developers of this game were handing out wads of cash to influencers. I got an email last year asking me to do a sponsored video for Animula Nook. Obviously, they didn't know that I don't do video game sponsorships when they sent me this. That's like my one thing besides my wit and a fat ass that I believe sets me apart from other creators. Seemingly every Sims and cozy game content creator was paid to make sponsored videos for Animula Nook.
And a huge thank you to Animula Nook for sponsoring this video.
Okay, what? I remember what was another game that came out that literally had like hundreds of creators like sponsored and everything, but the game was sort of a scam. I forgot what game that was, but like it came out like. Oh, God, I totally forgot, man. It came out recent though.
Video is sponsored by Animula Nook.
Just tap the game link below to check it out today.
I do need to thank Animula Nook for sponsoring this video.
Check this out on Steam, make sure to wishlist it, and follow the devs. They're tagged in the captions below.
This is Animula Nook, and its developer Landia Games are sponsoring today's video.
I need to give a big thank you to the team behind Animula Nook for sponsoring today's video.
I just want to thank today's sponsor, Animula Nook.
Huge thank to Animula Nook for the early look and sponsoring this video.
By the way, they are kindly sponsoring this
video, but that doesn't change my opinions.
This video is sponsored by Animula Nook.
Bro, I never realized how big the fucking quote cozy community is. That seems so weird to say. I'm sorry. It doesn't feel real.
The devs have kindly sponsored me to take an early look at the alpha playtest in this video.
And you can pre-register it right now by tapping the game link below. And thanks to Animula Nook for sponsoring this video.
Thank you to Animula Nook for sponsoring today's video.
You know, just the usual ones. Never seen any of these people before. But honestly, the sheer amount of money Animula Nook's developers have spent on sponsorships alone, it's off the charts. I think I counted at least 20 different creators on YouTube and TikTok who made sponsored videos for this game, and to be clear, the game is not out. So they're spending all this money just to...
Yeah, it seems kind of weird. I mean, I know it depends on like the game and like, you know, the company and everything. How much do they usually pay like sponsors for like, you know, say 15K, 90K YouTubers and everything? Because I know it differs between how much you know, how many follows you have and views and stuff.
Build brand awareness and to create hype and get people to wishlist it. But my question to you is, do you think it's normal for an indie studio to spend tens of thousands of dollars on influencers to market a game that no one can even play yet? They even got one of the most popular Sims creators who has over 1 million subscribers on YouTube to promote their game.
So check out Animula Nook, there's a link in the description down below, and I also have a playthrough on my YouTube channel.
No. So I think we're all wondering, how the hell can this brand new little indie studio afford to pay off all these content creators? Well, it's because Animula Nook is not made by an indie studio. Animula Nook's developer Lilylandia was established by and is fully owned by Tencent, a $500 billion...
I mean, I don't know, dude. Like, why? I mean, I'm not surprised by this because Lily... You know, I watched another video where it was like a cozy fraud game sort of thing, and it was also funded by like Tencent or a Chinese company. So I'm like, is that really that bad? I mean,
dollar corporation and the largest video game publisher in the entire world.
What?
Their official press release from September of last year was issued by Tencent. Those trademark applications I talked about earlier that established Lilylandia Studio, those were filed by Tencent. Even these Chinese written articles for the game acknowledge that this studio and this game are created by Tencent. What in the opposite day is going on here? If they're indie, then I'm fucking Mr. Beast, bro. Yeah. The audacity to call yourself indie when you're fully funded by Tencent? This is Trump levels of delusion, not to mention it is an outright lie. The wads of cash they were handing out to dozens of influencers makes a lot more sense now, doesn't it? If your studio is a subsidiary of Tencent, then you are not indie. I don't care what world you live in. I don't care if their excuses, well, Tencent executives aren't involved in the day-to-day management of our studio. It doesn't fucking matter because your studio is owned by a massive multi-billion-dollar corporation. This is one of the top 20 largest companies in the world. But the thing that really bothers me about all this is that it is such a slap in the face to real, true indie studios. Paralives, for instance, an upcoming live simulation game, is made by a small team of people who spent 6-7 years developing that game. They're completely independent, no executives to answer to, no corporate investment to bail them.
Line about money, or line about being indie just to make more money is bad. I mean, it is pretty sus already. Did he just do the meme? No, baby. Shut up.
Or to give them more funding when they
need it. Ranger, welcome in.
They're truly indie. So when these studios like Lilylandia that are backed by mega corporations start co-opting the term indie, it places unreasonable and unfair expectations on actual indie studios. The uninformed player might see a game like Animula Nook and hear the word indie and say, oh, well, they made this game in 2 years and it looks so good and it's really polished, so why can't other indie studios do that? It's because this indie label that they've given themselves is a farce. That's why I've even seen people online claim that this is an indie game. On Discord, someone wrote, "I know indie games have a harder time publishing to all the different platforms because of the cost, so I'm glad to see this game prioritize it. It is already difficult enough for true indie studios to bring their games to life, and financing is a huge concern for most indie games. That's why a lot of indie games take years and years before they even reach early access, if they ever do. So for Animula Nook developer to pretend that they're on the same playing field as other indie studios is an absolute joke and a slap in the face to true indie studios. This is like a nepo baby trying to relate to a poor person, okay? You get an allowance from mommy and daddy every month. You're not the same, bruh. And what's really concerning is that this appears to be a growing trend in video games. Recently, there was another life simulation game called Star Sand Island that paraded itself as an indie game, and they even raised $300,000 on Kickstarter when in fact the whole time that game was financially supported by a $5 billion company. This is deceptive and highly unethical on every single level. And to be clear, the issue here is not that Animula Nook and its developer got some investment, a few coins from Tencent here and there. The issue is that they are fully owned by Tencent. And on top of all this, they're sending hella mixed signals, okay? On one hand, they say this is their first game and they're still fingering things out. But on the other, they say the team is comprised of industry veterans. Are they noobs or are they seasoned developers? Are you indie or are you owned by a $500 billion corporation? I think we all know the answers. My point is, we have entered dangerous territory here. These mega corporations are muddling the term indie, and it's manipulative as hell. It's like Animula Nook wants all the benefits of being perceived as wee little baby indie studio, while behind the scenes,
hello Stormy, welcome.
they're reaping all the rewards of operating as a subsidiary of Tencent. They know damn well that players tend to give more leniency to indie developers. They lower their expectations, they're more forgiving, they're more patient when they hear a game is made by an indie studio. And the fact that they're being this manipulative from the jump, chat, we're Animula cooked. And surprisingly, I saw several people defending this game. I didn't know Animula Nook already has stands. Someone on Steam said, "No one cares if it's made by Tencent. No one is forcing you to pay for anything. If you're broke, just watch someone play it and relive the experience through them." Okay, so I guess it's about financial status now? I don't know. Another person on Steam said, "You don't have to buy into it or play it or even wishlist it. Why does it upset you then?" All I have to say is this is why we can't have nice things, because so many people in the cozy game genre can't stand for a damn thing. It's too negative. Their cozy hearts can't handle it. But if you guys thought the Animula mess ended here,
honey, you've got a big storm coming.
You may have noticed that on Steam, Animula Nook is categorized as a free-to-play game. Just like The Sims 4 and Heartopia, there will be no upfront cost required to play this game. So you might be wondering, how are they going to make money? Well, when Animula Nook first showed up on Steam, prospective players noticed that the game was not available in a particular country. Someone on Steam wrote, "I was unpleasantly surprised to see that Animula Nook is unavailable to play in my region, namely Belgium." And on Discord, a user asked, "Does anyone know if the game will be available in Belgium or not, since it's still not showing up on Steam?" So what exactly is going on here? Why are we discriminating against Belgium? I thought we all loved Pomfrey. Well, back in 2018, the Belgian government declared that loot boxes in video games were illegal under the country's gambling laws. And they implemented strict regulations for video games that contain gacha mechanics like loot boxes. To be clear, gacha...
Man, like, dude, there's gonna be... I just miss Animal Crossing and shit, you know, like, this whole, like, cozy game, sort of, like, cozy game loot boxes is fucking insane to me. It's so dumb, dude.
Gacha games are
like,
not...
I would rather pirate The Sims because I am not paying $1,000 for all the DLC in Sims 4. That is insane. So they're gonna make so much money off just cozy gacha mechanics.
Outright banned in Belgium, but there are very strict guidelines that game companies must follow if they wish to sell their games there. The Netherlands and most recently Brazil have also passed laws either prohibiting certain gacha mechanics or restricting minors from playing them. Famously, Genshin Impact, a gacha game, is unavailable to play in both Belgium and the Netherlands. So when Animula Nook, a free-to-play game, was suspiciously unavailable to wishlist in Belgium, players started connecting the dots, and many came to the conclusion that Animula Nook is a gacha game. Yay! Of course, this has not been confirmed by the developer yet, but several players noticed that during the recent alpha playtest, gacha systems do appear to be in the game. On Steam, a user wrote, "There's already a gacha element in the game where you collect sets of cards to unlock furniture pieces, and when you collect all sets, you get the house shape which fits with that set. You can get duplicates, but there is a way to swap cards. I personally expect this game to have a paid element, but it's unconfirmed." And on Discord, someone else said, "There's a system called cracky cards. You open them to complete certain collections and they have rarity. It does look like a good base for gacha." In addition, Animula Nook already has several currencies, and as some of you may know, gacha games often have various premium and free currencies. And at the very least, there will be microtransactions of some kind because it's a free-to-play game and they have to make money somehow. But the reason this whole thing concerns me is that I simply hate that gacha games have crept into the life sim genre. First, it was Heartopia, which has a horrendous gacha system that players are
Wait, okay, so keep giving you duplicates. It can be most over $350 for building a complete set. So many people out there spending $400. This is worse than like gacha games, bro. This is so okay. So wait, let me see. So to get the full outfit, it costs $400. Oh, dude, no, man. This is fucked. Imagine having to do this every time in The Sims if you want to get a new outfit, or if you wanted to get a limited time outfit. Holy shit.
Heartopia, which has a horrendous gacha system that players are saying is rigged. Then we learned that Hoyoverse is making a life sim game called Petit Planet, which is also a gacha game, and now we likely have a third gacha game joining the ranks. To see this become so pervasive within life sim,
it's so sad because like it happened in MMOs, right? Like, so for example, I don't know if you guys played either Elsword or Closers. They're Korean MMOs, but basically they have a like a gacha ice burner system where it's like you spend it and you get, a rare costume item, like a set or a like, not set, but a costume piece for a rare costume in that game, or weapon. But I mean, it's fine. It's somewhat fine because like you can sell it. You can sell these pieces on the market for like in-game money. So really, it kind of evens out. But if these cozy games don't have like a player-driven market where you can't buy these, that is actually fucked. If the only way you can get these fits is purely through just gacha, you need to spend money and you can't buy it with like in-game money by like other players. I mean, it's gonna be expensive, but it's gonna be fine. That is fucked. Also, it pretty much always had the gacha system void in that game. But it's not too bad because like it's literally just for outfits. It doesn't like, I mean, does it impact gameplay slightly? It gets you like slightly better stats, but really it's just for like drip purposes.
It is the antithesis of what these games are about. Life sims are about giving players the freedom to experiment and try new things and live vicariously through virtual characters. But gacha is inherently restrictive. It puts up these barriers that impede the player's freedom. There is nothing relaxing or cozy about gacha. Just recently in the US, the FTC fined Hoyoverse, the company that makes Genshin Impact and is making that upcoming life sim Petit Planet, because they found the gacha systems in their games were used to lure minors into spending money. How much more predatory could you get? Hoyoverse was fined $20 million by the FTC for, quote, unfairly marketing loot boxes to children, loot boxes that obscured real costs and misled all players about the odds of obtaining prizes. When the US, which is the capitalist final boss of the fucking world, is fining gacha game companies for being too greedy, you know it's a problem. Yeah. Tencent, as a company, is notorious for going to great lengths to monetize their games. For instance, when you look at the best-selling free-to-play games of 2020, nearly all of them are published.
Sorry, what? $2 billion? Roblox? Holy shit, bro. I I remember when I was a kid, right? When I was way back in like 2010 or 2011, I used to play Roblox, right? It was nowhere near this big. I blame all the YouTubers. Like there was a huge fucking resurgence purely based off those YouTube videos, and then everyone just got into it. Like social media and content creators can either make or break a game, and it's terrifying. Also, how the fuck does Dungeon Fighter Online make $1 billion? In North America, I'm pretty sure it's dead. So like I know it's big in Korea, but like yeah, it's dead. It's practically dead. There's no way. Yeah, I mean it's still big as fuck in Korea though. Holy shit, man.
Published by Tencent, and naturally, they all feature excessive microtransactions and gacha mechanics. Both PUBG Mobile and Honor of Kings contain loot boxes. They publish Goddess of Victory Nikki, which is a full-fledged gacha game. This is how Tencent makes their money, not
You
by
did this on yourself, boy. Fuck off.
producing high-quality works of art, but by mastering the art of monetization. And
Thank you, chat. You always got my back.
When it comes to the thousands of dollars they've sunk into just the marketing for Animula Nook, I can guarantee that they're going to do everything they can in their power to recoup that investment and then some.
Oh, the colors!
But one thing I find so disturbing about this game is that it's clearly being marketed to children. Just visually, this game looks like it's made for toddlers. They're obviously trying to appeal to a younger audience, and when you factor in that this is a free-to-play game that will likely be excessively monetized, we once again have to consider the ethics of that. They're marketing a game that will be brimming with microtransactions or gacha or loot boxes or all the above to minors. But I'm also disturbed by the sheer number of influencers who are gleefully promoting gacha slop, whether it's this game or Heartopia or Petit Planet.
I mean, people get paid. People love money, you know? People love money, dude. Like they will do anything for money. So like literally it's like,
what are we doing? Truly, these creators are aware that many of their viewers are young people, so when I see Deligracy or Lil Simsy or any of these super bubbly, cheerful, cozy influencers who clearly have an audience that skews on the younger side, whether they're children or teens or young adults, is it an appropriate use of your platform to sell gacha games to your viewers? We're talking about games that are banned in some countries, games made by companies that are getting fined for using tactics that lure kids into buying shit. What's next? Is Lil Simsy gonna do a gambling sponsorship? This whole thing is very, very messy, but there's something else. Ever since those very first trailers for Animula Nook were released, there have been a lot of people who've expressed skepticism over one thing in particular, and there was one claim being made on Reddit and YouTube comments on Discord that I saw over and over and over again, and that was about generative AI. On Reddit, someone wrote, "Something about this just feels off. The trailer's giving AI. I can't quite put my finger on it, but it just feels soulless." Now, I'm someone who questions everything, but I also don't like to assume things without proof. I know for a fact that Tencent as a company has invested heavily in AI. There's a multitude of articles talking about the company's—
Dude, I'm gonna be so scared where it's like we're gonna have full AI video games one day. No one is gonna have the same gaming experience at some point. Like 10, 20 years from now, no one is gonna have the same experience. And that's crazy to me.
These plans to use AI in game development.
They also start incorporating AI in their game developments.
And after watching hours of live streams and examining the art in the game, I am 100% certain that generative AI was used in the development of Animula Nook. And I have to say allegedly, because God forbid Tencent, they'd probably send assassins after me. But I am personally confident enough to assert that they have used generative
Yeah, I mean, it's already happening. You're not wrong. I mean, literally, you know, art pieces in games, definitely.
AI in this game. If you don't know, when you ask an AI to generate an image and then you tell it to alter aspects of that image, it will oftentimes change things that you didn't want it to change, including things like an ear. Here are two different images of the same Animula Nook character, and these images were taken from the game. The one on the left has a weird swirly ear. Do you see that? But the same character on the right has two normal ears. It may seem insignificant on the surface, but what exactly is responsible for these changes? Is there any logic behind these differences at all? Look at the apron on this bunny character. Even though this is the same character wearing the exact same clothes in both images, the writing on this apron has miraculously changed. Why is that? These, to me, are telltale signs of AI art. And when I was observing some of the gameplay footage, I found several examples of this exact same thing. First of all, there's a ton of writing on signs and objects that simply doesn't match. They appear to have this made-up writing system in the game that's very curvy, has lots of squiggles and stuff. So it would be safe to assume that this is the language of this world. But then whenever you look at the writing on other objects, like this sign at the bus stop, it appears to use a completely different language or alphabet. The made-up writing on the left is not the same as the made-up writing on the right. So unless this world they've created has multiple made-up languages within it, some of these objects or the textures or art used on these objects was generated using AI. There are dozens of examples of this if you just look at some of the gameplay. There are patterns in some of the objects that simply don't make sense. There are animals missing body parts, 4 toes on one foot, 2 on the other. We know that AI art is very inconsistent. It's weird. There's details that don't make sense, body parts that are missing. And this is exactly what I'm seeing in this game. Am I saying all of Animula Nook is AI generated? Of course not. But do I believe they use generative AI in its development? Absolutely. There is currently no disclosure on the game's Steam page. We'll see if they end up adding one, but it really should have been there from the very beginning as soon as people were able to wishlist this game. To me, I have zero doubt about the fact that they used generative AI to make this game. And if they didn't use generative AI, which I find difficult to believe, what else explains the slop I'm seeing on these objects? Look, I know that there are real people behind Animula Nook who are passionate about what they're creating. I've read an interview with the developers. I think they came up with a really cool concept for this game, and I can tell that they're really invested in this project. But we can't look past the glaring red flags, especially when these red flags coincide with so much dishonesty. It's one thing for a studio to be upfront and to say, yeah, we use generative AI for some of the objects in the game. Or, yeah, we are a subsidiary of Tencent and we will implement Gacha. But to withhold that information and in some cases deceive prospective players, that is wrong. It's actually wild over the last year especially how we've seen the life sim genre and cozy games in general take an absolute nosedive. In a twisted turn of events, I think life sim games are trying to compete with real life over which one is actually worse.
Yep. I mean, he's definitely not wrong. I mean, I feel like, I don't know, at the end of the day, like, there's always going to be content creators who won't, who aren't into certain things. And then they just sort of like, say, oh, this game is garbage. And like, without trying it. I mean, there's so many games like that. Look at, like, Crimson Desert, for example. It's so mixed. Yet, I don't know, everyone's into different things, essentially.